Hello everyone, good morning. This is Vijay Prajapati, and let me tell you about myself. So, guys, I have total 10 years experience in the networking domain. Okay, and then as I work for the as a network security engineer also, and till now I work for the many vendors like routing, switching, Cisco router switches, Palo Alto Firewall, Checkpoint Firewall, Juniper Firewall. Okay, and till now I work for the many MSS companies like Infosys, Wipro, HCL, TCS. Okay, so let's start with about the firewall. Okay, guys, like what is the firewall and why we are using the firewall? Okay, so let me tell you about that one first one. Okay, and today we will check about the checkpoint firewall. So this is course for the checkpoint firewall. Okay, and it's the firewall. It's coming in under like top 10 firewall. Okay, so we will check today. ओके एंड हम देखेंगे कि फायरवॉल क्यों यूज कर रहे हैं फायरवॉल का कितनी टाइप्स की फायरवॉल्स है गाइस ओके और चेक पॉइंट के बारे में थोड़ा जानेंगे आज डेमो लेक्चर में ओके सो देर ना करते हुए हम स्टार्ट करते गाइस okay so first of all guys what is the firewall okay so here you can see there is a definition like there is a multiple definitions available on the google okay so like you can say in the simple word firewall is a system or group of the system okay that manage access between two or more networks okay so suppose that we have a firewall okay and we have to connect that firewall in between two different network like inside network and outside network okay so let me give you the first of all example okay so suppose this is our few inside machines okay so this is our few inside machines and those are connected with a particular switch okay so it's connected with the switch and suppose here one of the router is available okay and that router is connected to the with ISP okay so this is our internet service provider okay and this suppose this router interface fast ethernet 0 by 0 okay and it's fast ethernet 0 by 1 interface okay so we can say in this side we can call as inside zones also. There is a type of the zones in the firewall. Okay, and it's called the outside zone. Okay, it's a WAN network and this is LAN network. Also we can call this is trusted network guys and this is untrusted network. Okay, and suppose there's internal users try to access the internet. Okay, so whatever the traffic comes from the inside to outside. Okay, so it will be allowed okay and whatever the traffic comes from the outside to inside okay so that traffic will be denied okay so that type of this is the router okay so on the router we can configure the ACL stand for the access control list you already learned about the CCNA okay so in the access control list we are allowing some IP but we have to allow some permit the IP and deny the IPs okay according to the destination and the block port number okay so we can do the routing on the router we can do the routing and netting performance okay so same things guys we can do on the Palo Alto firewall or checkpoint firewall okay so same things we can do on the firewalls but we in the firewall there is some advanced options are available guys okay advanced security related features are available on the Palo Alto or checkpoint firewalls okay and there is some multiple type of the firewalls also okay so that's why we are using the firewall and let me tell you one more thing guys okay so this router okay it's work for the most of the layer 3 and layer 4 okay so layer 3 and layer 4 it work on that one okay so what we can do okay so it's it will check the IP and port number what is the port number it's related okay but suppose that we are setting up the firewall in between router and switch. Okay, so firewall will check till layer 7. Okay, so it will identify the traffic application, what type of the application this particular user is using. Okay, and what type of the application data is traveling to through inside to outside. Okay, so all these things firewall will check. Okay, so checkpoint firewall that type of the data will check. Okay, so it will inspect the traffic till layer 7. We can say in the network perspective, we can say it will inspect the traffic till layer 7. Okay So this is why we are using the firewall. Okay, now let me guys tell you what type or like a type of the firewalls. Okay, so there is a firewall techniques we can say it, for type of the firewall, otherwise techniques we can say. Okay, so the packet filtering is it previously I given the one example router, and on the router we are configuring the ACL. Okay, so ACL there is a many type of the ACL access control list, standard access list, we are extended access list, name access list. Okay, so there is a multiple type of the access list that we are configuring on that router. Okay, so that type of this firewall is called the packet filtering firewall, guys. Okay, now guys, let me tell you about the proxy server. Okay, what is the proxy server firewall? Okay, so suppose there is a some switch system available here. Okay, so there is a few systems available, and uh, those system are connected with the particular switch. Okay, here. Okay, and this switch is connected with the particular router, and the router connected with the ISP. This is our ISP. Okay, so here this one of the proxy server. Okay, this is a proxy server. Okay, it's connected with the particular switch. Okay, and on this proxy server we are setting up the like a URL filtering. We can do the URL filtering like URL filtering like what any users any users wants to try to access facebook.com, we can block the traffic, and any user try to access google.com. Okay, uh, that we can allow. Okay, so suppose this is a 10.1 IP address is. Okay, 10.2 IP address and 10.3, like 10.1.1.1 and 10.1.1.2 and 10.1.1.3, and here is the gateway like a 10.1.1. 100 IP address. Okay, and suppose this proxy firewall IP address is 10.1.1.1 IP address. Okay, so with that IP address we configured. Okay, so like in the proxy IP address, like proxy server, so we can do one thing, guys. Okay, so each and every machines there is each and every browser we have a proxy server settings. Okay, so on that server settings we have to tell to this particular browser. Okay, whatever if you want to go to internet. Okay, first of all, go to the proxy server. Okay, and proxy server will identify like what type of the traffic you want to access. Okay, so yeah, either facebook.com or google.com. Okay, so in that browser, okay, in the proxy setting, you have to tell like whatever traffic you want to go. First of all, yeah, so we have to set the default gateway or like a proxy server setting. Okay, each and every browser like if you are using Chrome, then Firefox and Microsoft Edge, then you have to give this proxy server IP. Okay, so this particular server wants to access the internet or google.com. Okay, so first of all, traffic will to go to the proxy server. Okay, proxy server will check in that or rule or policy. Yes, google.com is allowed, then it will go to this particular router, and router through it will access the internet. Okay, so this is the one of the scenario. And another scenario, guys. Okay, so like if we want to configure the proxy setting each and every machine, and each and every machine using two or three browsers, so it will be like uh, we can say like it's lots of work. We can say like it's hard work. Okay, we can say. So we can avoid this issue. We can do one thing, guys. Okay, so we can configure. Okay, we can configure these particular machines, and we can default gateway as a 10.100. Okay, so first of all, traffic, this machine wants to access the google.com. So what will happen, guys? Okay, first of all, traffic will go to the particular router. Okay, then router, in the router and in this proxy server there is a one protocol is running in between. Okay, it's called the WCCP protocol, we can say. Okay, so through this protocol. Okay, router will redirect the traffic to this proxy server, and proxy server will check in the rule or policy either google.com is allowed or not. If it is allowed, then it will again traffic comes to this particular router, and router will send that traffic to this ISP. So after that, this particular machine can able to access the internet. So this is called the proxy server IP address. But if suppose there is some limitation, guys. Okay, so some there is a like a delay. First of all, traffic is comes to here, then this comes to here, again comes to this one. So there is a delay in to access this page and everything. Okay, and if suppose this proxy servers fail, then it's a single point of failure, we can say. Okay, so it will this particular user not able to access this particular internet. Okay, so this is called guys proxy server. Now main is a stateful firewall guys. Okay, so our checkpoint firewall is a stateful firewall. Okay, so in the checkpoint firewall we can say what is the stateful firewall. Okay, so let me give you the one scenario guys. Okay, so let me do one thing. Okay, okay, comes to here, and let me give you that what is the stateful firewall. Okay, so suppose this is our internal machines. Okay, and all the machines they are connected with the switch. Okay, so they are connected with this particular switch. Okay, and let's connect with them. Okay, and this switch is connected with the checkpoint firewall or whatever any other multiple vendor are available. So that's connected with the checkpoint firewall, and checkpoint firewall connected with the internet, we can call the ISP. Okay, so here what will happen, suppose this checkpoint firewall IP address. Okay, suppose standard 1.1.100 IP address we configured. Okay, and this machine IP address is 10.1.1.1, here 10.1.1.2, and here is a 10.1.1.3. Okay, so this checkpoint firewall gate IP address is a gateway of for this IP address. Okay, so this machine's gateway IP address is 10.1.1.100. This is a default gateway. Okay, for this machine internal machines. Okay, so suppose these machines wants to access this one of the server, Google server, here is available. Okay, and its IP address is 8.8.8, and they wants to access the 80 port number through a website. They want to access the website. Okay, so first of all, what will happen? This machine will initiate the traffic. Okay, so suppose this machine IP address, source IP address or source port number, we can say 1024 is a source port number. Okay, and destination port number is 80. This is 180 port number. Okay, and here source IP. What is the source IP? 10.1.1, and destination IP is 8.8.8. So this is the one of the packet guys. Okay, and this packets comes to this particular firewall. So firewall what will do? Okay, so firewall will do, it will maintain the state table guys. Okay, table. Okay, it will maintain the state table. Okay, and in the state table it will add this entry. Okay, so it will add the entry like what is the source IP? It's 10.1.1.1 IP address. Okay, what is the source port number? 1024 IP address. What is the destination IP? It's the 8.8.8.8. And what is the destination port? It's the 80. Okay, so it will add this entry guys. Okay, here in the state table. Okay, and after it will send the traffic to this particular Google or this server. Okay, so traffic comes to this particular firewall will maintain the state table. So it will add this entry. Okay, the source IP, destination IP, source port, destination port, it all these entries it will maintain here in this state table. Okay, and it will forward the traffic to this particular Google server, and Google server will reply back. Okay, so whenever Google server will reply back, then its traffic comes to this particular checkpoint firewall. Okay, so firewall will check. Okay, so here it will send the traffic, and now firewall will gets the reply. Okay, so it will check what is the, so previously it was this is the source IP. Now it will become the destination IP. Okay, destination. So in the revert packet, what will happen? Okay, 80 is a guy's source port and 1024 as a destination, and 8.8 is a source one, and 10.1.1 is a destination. Okay, so now this packet will come to this particular firewall, then firewall will check, yes, this is my source IP address, yes, this is my destination IP address, this is my source port, and this is my destination. So this entry will match. Okay, and after it will be, this particular firewall will forward this packet to this particular machine. Then after that this machine can able to access this particular Google page. Okay, so this is how this particular firewall, okay, it will maintain the state table. Okay, so it's called the stateful firewall. Okay, and one more thing guys, let me tell you. Okay, so suppose another user is available on this internet. Okay, and this machine is IP address is 7.7.7.7. Okay, so here 7.7.7.7 IP address is available. Okay, so this machine wants to access this 10.3 IP addresses guys. Okay, this machine he wants to access. Okay, so what will happen? Suppose source port is a 1025 and a port number is a 80. Okay, and source IP is a 7.7.7 and destination IP is a 10.3. Okay, so this packet will comes to this particular firewall first. Okay, and this so firewall what will do, okay, it will check the entry in the state table. Okay, is the entry is available on the firewall or not. Okay, so it the firewall will not found the any entry, so it will drop this packet at this level. Okay, so this is how we can prevent the traffic. We can say like we can prevent the traffic. Okay, we can secure our internal network, okay, through from the outside network. Okay guys, so this is like we are using like a checkpoint firewall is maintained a state table. Okay, so that's why we are call this particular firewall as a stateful firewall, guys. Okay, and now next one, guys. Okay, so next one is a guys transparent firewall. Okay, so transparent firewall means is the simple things like we are not we can use the firewall as a L2. Usually we are using the firewall as a L3 level. Okay, so suppose this is our one machine, this is another machine, they are connected with this particular switch. Okay, and here in this particular switch is connected with this particular router, and router will connect with is connected with the ISP. Okay, so what will happen, guys? First of all, okay, so the this particular machine, suppose we are placing the firewall here, checkpoint firewall, we are configure here, we are placed here. Okay, so what will happen, we have to configure this two interface as a L3 interface, and suppose this router interface is a 10.100 and this machine is a 10.1 and this machine IP address is a 10.2. So we are configuring these two interface as a L3 interface, we are configuring this firewall as a L3. So we have to configure these two interface in the different subnet. Okay, in the same subnet IP address we are not same IP address we are not configuring. Okay, on as L3. So suppose this is a 11.1.1.100 and suppose this is another IP address. Okay, so whatever so this IP address will become the gateway of for this machine. Okay, 11.100 IP addresses. Okay, but here is a 10 subnet and here is a 11, means the default gateway must be in the same subnet, otherwise it will not work. Okay, so this scenario will not work. Okay, so what we can do, guys? Okay, we can remove there's a as a L3 interface, we are not configuring this L3 interface. Okay, we are just configuring as a L2, means that's we are configuring this two firewall as a L2 one. Okay, so what will happen, the and still the default gateway will be the 10.1.100 of this machine. So whatever the traffic is comes to the firewall just inspect the traffic, what type of the traffic this particular user wants to access, they are accessing. Okay, and traffic comes to the particular router and router will forward the traffic to the ISP. So this is called the transparent firewall, guys. Okay, now guys, let's check about the checkpoint main thing. Okay, so this is about the firewall related. Okay, what type, what is the firewall and what how many types of the firewall in our market. Okay, now guys, main thing like a checkpoint architecture and everything. Okay, so we in the checkpoint architecture we are calling there is a three-tier architecture, guys. This is the one of the most important question interviewer will ask. Okay, so whenever you are giving for the, going for the interview. Okay, so interviewer will ask like what is the three-tier architecture in the checkpoint. Okay, so like we can say, we can explain like this one. Okay, so in the checkpoint, like we have a three components. First of all, smart console, security management server, and security gateway. Okay, so here security gateway is called, we can call the firewall. Okay, so we can call this firewall. Okay, so what will happen, guys? Like a smart console, security management server, and security gateway. So whatever the policies and everything, guys. Okay, whatever policies, everything like a smart console is a one type of the PC, guys. Okay, one type of the PC we can call. Okay, so in this PC you have to open the smart console software. We are opening this software smart console, and in the smart console we are configuring the policies, guys. Policy we are configuring here, or we can say rules. Okay, we are configuring the policy, otherwise we can say rules. Okay, so that type of the policy or rule we are configuring on the smart console, and that rules and policy are stored in the management server, guys. Okay, so that rules and policy are stored in the management server, and that management server will send that rule or policy to respective firewall. Okay, so now firewall will check, yes, traffic is allowed it. on this particular rule, the traffic is allowed it or not. Yes, if it is allowed it, then it will allow the traffic and it will generate the logs, and if it is not denied, then it will generate the logs. It will deny the traffic and it will generate the logs, and these logs it will again send to this management server, and that logs we are stored here. Okay, and that logs we can see in this smart console. Okay, so in short, okay, so this smart console is talks to this management server, and management talks to this security gateway or firewall, and in the reverse way also possible, this firewall is talks to the management server, and this management server is talks to the smart console. So this is about the three tier architecture in the checkpoint, guys. Okay, so in the next one is a deployment type, guys. Okay, so here there is a two things we are deploying. It's one of the management server and security gateway. Okay, so whenever we are installing the checkpoint firewall, so two things we have to install: management server and security gateway. But there is a two types of the deployments, guys. Okay, so first of all, there is a stand alone deployment and another is a distributed deployment. Okay, so what is the two things, guys? Okay, so suppose this is our one box. Okay, and in the one box, guys, okay, so security management server, first of all, security management server and security gateway, so we are configuring to both security management server and security gateway in single box. Okay, in the single box, it's called the standalone deployment, guys. Okay, and another one like what is the distributed deployment? So simple thing, it's a distributed means that there is a one box here. Okay, and another box is available here. So one box we are in one box we are installing the security management server, and in another box we are installing the security gateway. So it's called the distributed gateway, means that we are installing the security management server and security gateway in two different boxes. Okay, it's called the distributed deployment. Okay, so like guys, this is our about the basics things, and in the demo lecture this is we already checked what is the firewalls. Okay, how many type of the firewall. In this checkpoint related we are checking that like what is the three type tier of architecture, and this is also important interview questions. Okay, so how many types of the deployments mode in the checkpoint firewall. Okay, so guys, this is regarding about the checkpoint firewall, and in the later on we will check about the like how many types. Okay, how checkpoint firewall is working, like how it's filtering traffic based on the application, and antivirus, anti-spyware, URL filtering. Okay, identity awareness we can say. Okay, and we will check the two firewalls if suppose we are configuring the firewall is in the cluster. Cluster means the two firewall, like suppose the one firewall is the checkpoint firewall is here, another checkpoint firewall is here. Okay, so this one will become the active firewall, and this is the passive firewall we get. So okay, so one this particular firewall carry the traffic 100% carry the traffic, and it will become there as a passive. It will in the standby mode. Okay, so if goes fail, this firewall is a fail, then it will carry the like take the workload without any time, and it will carry the traffic to the internet and everything. Okay, so guys, this is about the Palo Alto firewall. Sorry, checkpoint firewall. Okay, and in the later on, let in the upcoming lecture we will check about the what level by level. Okay, like basically check, and one more thing is in the we will do the practical wise. Okay, we will check the first of all theory, and we will do the practical. Okay, and in the for the practical, guys, we will use the EVNG machine. Okay, and EVNG machine, so I will let you know how to install the EVNG machine in the VMware. Okay, and how many types required, like uh, how many images I have all the images like a router, switch, a checkpoint firewall. Okay, so we will add the how to add those images to the EVNG. Okay, so all these things we will check one by one. Okay, in the upcoming lecture. So that's it for today, guys. Okay, thank you so much for your time. Thank you.